The 2024 race for the White House is moving along this weekend. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis taking another trip to Iowa as he nears his goal of visiting every single county in that state. But will this propel him to victory in January's caucus? Let's bring back in Niall Stanage, White House columnist for The Hill. Niall, thanks for staying with us.
Good to be with you, Natasha.
So in Iowa today, DeSantis took shots at Trump, but sort of in a roundabout way, given his lead in the polls. Let's take a listen.
Some of these polls have Trump at 40% in Iowa and New Hampshire. He's the most famous person in America. He was the president of the United States. I don't view that as really strength for him. I view it as weakness because he should be at 80, 90%, given his fame, given the fact that he was president.
This is interesting. Is it a good call for DeSantis to point out his trailing poll numbers like this by saying that Trump should be more popular than he is?
I don't think it's a great idea. There's a little bit of a grasping at straws going on there on Governor DeSantis's part. The fact of the matter is the former president, as you see there in those poll numbers, is way ahead even in Iowa. And that's the state that, firstly, he lost in 2016 to Senator Ted Cruz, and where his opponents think he's most vulnerable this time around. He doesn't look terribly vulnerable when you look at those poll numbers. And the argument that Governor DeSantis was making about electability is further undermined, Natasha, by some recent polls that we have seen, which, as you know, have shown former President Trump with a pretty good chance of beating President Biden if they're both the nominees of their respective parties.
Yeah, and also there's a new report that says a top donor to the DeSantis campaign is considering a switch to the Trump side, even bashing DeSantis in a recent interview. How harmful is this continued rhetoric to the DeSantis campaign? And Niall, also, if you were advising DeSantis, what would you tell him to do at this point to close this gap?
Let me answer the donor question so I can think about the other one while I'm still talking. I think that at this point, the donor thing adds to a drip, drip, drip effect of negative news about Governor DeSantis' campaign. His poll numbers have ticked down over the course of that campaign. He's in danger of being overtaken by Nikki Haley for second place. So he's in some trouble. I think he does actually have to concentrate on Iowa. I think that's where he needs to notch a very strong performance, if not an outright win. If former President Trump takes Iowa, I don't see anyone having any chance of catching him. So Governor DeSantis has to throw, in my view, all or nearly all of his resources there in the hope of scoring an upset.
Meanwhile, we had a few new wrinkles in the race for the White House this week. Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia saying that he is not going to seek a re-election next year, and that's just fueling third-party rumors. And then another actual third-party candidate, Jill Stein of the Green Party, jumping into the race. Which candidate or rumored candidate do you feel is a bigger threat to Biden, or either a serious threat to the president?
It's really difficult to game out because we all use the language you used in your question, Natasha, third party. We could be at fourth and fifth and sixth parties at this stage, given that there are the two actual candidate, Jill Stein, potential candidate, Joe Manchin, and of course, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Cornel West as well. Ideologically, Cornel West is probably the biggest threat to Biden because he would take votes off the left flank, but he may not get on the ballot everywhere. Jill Stein, I have difficulty seeing being a real force because a lot of Democrats still hold her influence on the 2016 election against her. So perhaps Joe Manchin, perhaps Cornel West. I think it's the amalgamation of all these effects that is so difficult to really predict where it's going to go.
Yeah. And going back to last Wednesday's debate quickly, that heated back and forth between Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy, ending with Haley calling her opponent scum. And now we see the Ramaswamy campaign selling scum merchandise on its website. Is this a good idea for Ramaswamy?
I certainly don't think it's a good idea for him. To my mind, that was the worst moment any candidate has experienced in the three Republican debates so far. And I'm referring, of course, to Mr. Ramaswamy himself making that attack. I thought it seemed nasty. I thought it was likely to be very off-putting to female voters and, frankly, to parents generally when he had a go at her daughter. And it plays into the negative perceptions of Mr. Ramaswamy as this sort of opportunist who's willing to say anything. So if I were him, I would not be drawing attention to that exchange. I thought it was a pretty terrible moment for him and his campaign.
One more Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.